to the racetrack. Really enjoyed it. The car has a few new squeaks that I got to sort out. You know, I'm working on the interior a bit and just getting it cleaned up and detailed because I plan on selling it. But the hard thing is, every time I drive this car, I don't want to sell it. I want to keep it. I want to enjoy it. People also seem to really enjoy it. I was in my local town and a kid got out of the car, a little kid, like maybe 5, 6 years old. And yelled, "There's my mom, look at the car." It's a little 2-door red car. So like, kids who don't know much about cars love it. I see old guys driving. I've seen old guys driving really nice 911s. Give me a wave, friendly wave. It's cool. It's cool how broad it appeals to. So I came up north to some of my favorite roads. I've been driving about 50 miles north of the racetrack to some of my favorite roads. My family, when I was older, moved up this way, and they're just beautiful. When you see, I mean, we're not even on the road yet. We're not even where I want to go, but I'm going to cut to some of how amazing these roads are. I'm going to cut to some of them, and just, it's beautiful, picturesque. The roads are pretty smooth. They got a little wobble to them, but just some great turns that if you get some speed into the car, especially a car like this that doesn't have a lot of acceleration, just really enjoyable to drive. When I was younger, in my 20s, I got my motorcycle license, so I was kind of just, I spent long weekends hunting around the state, just looking for fun roads, and that's just how I came upon the road that we're going to go to. But for right now, we're just driving kind of northwest, straight up from where I live, and even north of, it's like north of the racetrack, which is probably 40 miles north of me. So in total, I'll be about 100 miles north, just cruising these roads in this old car, enjoying pushing the handling. You know, we knew we weren't going to get any power out of it. We just wanted to make it stable, which is why we did the tune-up, but just enjoy the suspension and what it's capable of. Really got that dialed in with the shop that I go to, DOS Auto. They helped me kind of dial in the height and stuff, and that was before I took it to the racetrack. Really enjoyed it. So yeah, we're just gonna, I mean, these roads are absolutely beautiful. Great curves, just smooth roads. Really nice place to be. Thing, the car's not fast, but it's just so enjoyable in spots like this. You can let the revs hang a little bit, just push it, because you know, just straight line speed, it's not going to do anything. But there's a cop up there. Let's see if we get pulled over. But you can really kind of enjoy the vehicle. It's really nice. So let's keep heading north and we'll see how it goes. What's been really great about this car is how confident I can be in it. The build turned out great, but the car itself, I mean, it's been super reliable. It's never left me stranded. It hung really well on track when I was, well, you know, on cones, when I was doing that, and just driving it around, like, you can push it, and it has so much grip. Local commuting that I do in it, it's kind of my weekend car in the summer, my somewhat daily in the summer, and it just does such a good job of soaking up bumps, of pushing through corners, of just being awesome. So it's really, pushing through some of these back roads is really going to be fun, because I can be really confident in what the car can do. It sticks to the road and it goes. I'm sure there is a breaking point, and I have no intention of finding it. I'm sure there is a point where it will come out, but it is such a well-balanced car. It was such a well-balanced car from the factory, and with the suspension stuff, the wheels and tires that we've done, I really feel like it's completely balanced out. Like, where there was some body roll and some, you know, old tires and old wheels, having something a little more modern all the way around has really brought this car to life. It's been really fun. So behind me is one of my favorite highways in the entire United States. I've driven up and down the left coast, west coast, driven up and down the east coast, hit a lot of really fun roads. This one's really close to home. It's Route 4A, so it's the old Route 4 in New Hampshire. When they built I-89, they upgraded to like full Route 4. This road kind of got left alone, and what's beautiful about it, I mean, look at it. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. There's big, beautiful mountains around me back there, and it's 50 miles an hour most of the way with some amazing tight, twisty turns. I feel like you really don't get this kind of solitary, experience. You get a car every couple of minutes, and just this is the perfect spot for a momentum car like this, where you can put a little bit of speed behind it, not really break laws, not get too aggressive, and really enjoy the car. So this ends up in Enfield, New Hampshire, and it kind of merges into the area near Dartmouth, New Hampshire, which got some family up that way. I've come this way to visit. It's just a great road to push the car. So let's go hop in and have some fun. Just getting out here to enjoy, responsibly enjoy the roads is a lot of fun. Got some good twists and turns coming up, and just the cool, weird little banking and uphill. It's really fun. And with a car like this, you don't have to be going that fast. You kind of just let the momentum maintain, just keep maintaining that. Let the revs hang a little bit. I'm not always just gonna upshift for comfort. I'm gonna kind of feel out what the car is doing and keep it in that kind of higher rev band. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm able to be really confident in the car. It feels like it's just so planted. Little hump here, woo! Feels like a roller coaster. This is one of my favorite roads to drive, and has been for a long time. And again, I'm not going crazy fast. I'm not doing anything massively stupid here. It's just able to use the power that this car has a little bit and stay within the means, of doing semi-responsible stuff, not going crazy, just really enjoying keeping a little bit of momentum in this car in the, 50 mile an hour zone. It's perfect. This road was pretty much designed for this car. The speed limits aren't too high. The roads are nice and banked and twisty and super fun. And this thing's kind of miserable if you're sitting on 89 at 70, 80 miles an hour. It's not geared for it, but a back road like this is really wonderful. So just getting out here to enjoy, responsibly enjoy the roads is a lot of fun. We got some good twists and turns coming up, and just the cool, weird little banking and uphill. It's really fun. And with a car like this, you don't have to be going that fast. You kind of just let the momentum maintain, just keep maintaining that. Let the revs hang a little bit. I'm not always just gonna upshift for comfort. I'm gonna kind of feel out what the car is doing and keep it in that kind of higher rev band. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm able to be really confident in the car. It feels like it's just so planted. Good road for this car. It feels similar to how this car does, where it's just so connected, and so you have to pay attention. I've had newer cars with things like electric steering and assisted braking and stuff like that. That's not the 944, and that's not this road. You can hop down this road in a car like that and not even know that it's enjoyable, but in a car like this where it's connected, you kind of you're fighting the bumps a little bit. You're really enjoying keeping it planted, keeping the momentum going. Oh, it's so good. crazy to me that this is a 50-mile-an-hour zone. Just the hard banks and turns and twists. Oh, it's so good. Only thing is, it's not that well maintained, so some spots you have to be careful, especially with a lowered car like this. Like you're seeing, it's great that this thing soaks up the bumps and I can be confident in it, but it's still, you don't want to break something. You're trying to keep your momentum going and your fun time going without completely breaking it. So some spots you have to kind of slow down and watch what you're doing. And you know, from here I'll probably maintain the speed a little bit, relax for a second, maybe get some fun shots overhead, that kind of thing, and you know, use that sections of the road that are a little bit longer, a little more, you know, a little more uneven for that kind of thing. So we're at the top of Route 4A. We got some really nice driving in. I was able to stop and grab some shots, which was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna go, we're probably 2 miles from the end of it. I'm not gonna go all the way to the end because it just merges with another highway and it's kind of nasty to turn around, and there isn't too much as far as fun driving roads. There's also a lot more houses and congestion, and I don't wanna be tempted to operate, you know, a little bit aggressively in an area that maybe, you know, is a little more populated. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn around, bang it back, just have fun. I'm not gonna shoot too much. I'll shoot with these two cameras, but I won't be getting out and doing drone shots or anything like that. We're just gonna hum it and have a really good time, and you know, just see what we can, see how far we can push the car, how much we can enjoy it within reason, within legal boundaries, and yeah, just enjoy the drive back. You know, I'm probably now 100 miles north of where I live, and the car's doing great. It's performing awesome. I mean, I really can't ask for much more. So let's go out, enjoy this beautiful day, and rip on the car a little bit. One of my favorite segments of road here. Right as you get out of Enfield, you leave Enfield, there's some really nice twisties that, again, you operate relatively safely, but you can, within the legal limit, really push the car and enjoy it. So I'm gonna hum through a couple of these now. So planted, you can have so much trust that it's going to stick to the road, and it does. Oh, it's just so balanced. Such a great stretch to like have a little bit of fun and enjoy. And this car, I mean, this is what this is good for, right? It doesn't make 1,000,000 horsepower. It'd be fun if you engine swapped it, sure. But in this configuration, little tight turns like that are so much fun. You know, I've had a lot of time in the 944 to think about the car. I mean, daily in the summer, it's been fantastic. And I think it's that fantasticness that makes it basically not as available anymore. I mean, you see 944s, they're not hard to find, but they're all destroyed, they're all beat up. And I think that's for a few reasons. You know, the first is, you know, any middle class to upper middle class person could afford a 944. You know, it wasn't as expensive as the 911. They intentionally kept most versions of it slower, even though it was a very capable car, slower than the 911s. And it's really usable. I am so comfortable right now. There's tons of space. I've got all my camera gear in the back. I've got a bag. I'm gonna stop on the way home, grab some food, grab some beer, grab some groceries, and I'll have tons of room for all that. it's incredibly easy to use. And I think because of that, it was seen, I mean, it was utilitarian. People used them. It's not the 911 or the 911 Turbo that sits in the garage and never gets used or taken out in the rain. This is a usable, comfortable car. It's got amenities. It's nice on the inside, and you know, you can be comfortable in it without getting tossed around, without getting beat up. And you know, with, you know, filling the tank of gas and throwing kids in the back and throwing food in the back, you know, there's plenty of room. So I think that, to me, you know, it kind of occurred to me as I've been driving it and using it that it was originally a utilitarian vehicle, which is why there's so many that are destroyed. So for this one, and when I did pick it up, I mean, it was a little bit rough. There's, you know, I've done some work to try to restore the paint a little bit. I've done some work to make sure that it runs better. I've done work to kind of, you know, keep up on it. And obviously there's the performance work, the suspension and the tires and the wheels to try to make it more enjoyable when you're pushing it. But day to day, I mean, these things were definitely used, and you know, they were used up. They weren't necessarily, when they started to hit those mileages, 80,000 miles, 100,000 miles, and people were looking at getting things like timing belts done. I don't think they're that abhorrently expensive. It's not 911 prices. It's expensive to own and maintain, so they got forgotten. They get parked and left, and people wouldn't want to pick up a used one because they didn't know much about it. And this car, I don't know if it's had a timing belt. The guy I bought it from said it did from the previous owner at some point. But that's all I really know about it, and I've been able to drive it great. I'm going to drive it. We're probably 20 miles back down. I'm going to drive it 80 more miles home, and I mean, knock wood, it was fine on the way up here. It's going to be fine on the way down. Pushing it, beating it, it's fine. It's not overheating. My oil pressure is great. Voltage looks good. Everything looks good. There's no nasty smells or creaks. And that's what made this car so great, but what made it kind of get left behind. It got left behind all the 911s, all the fancy cars, and finding a clean one now is really difficult. Yeah, so it's just something that occurred to me, you know. Kind of sad that these things got left behind, because it's a great looking platform. It kind of has the front end from far away. I think some of these drone shots are going to come out cool. It kind of has that 930 turbo slant nose feel to it. Like, it's got the slant with the pop-ups, and it just has that great look with the wide hips. I mean, it's a shame that these cars got left behind. Yeah, we were able to take this up here and push it. We were able to take it to a track. The build has just really come out well. The car is holding together really well. I've got another 80-mile trip back south, back down to where I live, and it's doing awesome. I guess the whole point of this is, you know, in the world where a Mark IV R32 is 25 grand, an RSX Type S with 200K on it is 10 grand, an S2000 is 25 grand. Take a chance on a 944. I mean, if you can afford to keep up on the parts, yeah, the parts are expensive. It's gonna need pads and rotors. It's gonna send me back 400 bucks. That sucks. At the same time, if you can afford to do it and give it the love that it didn't get in the 80s and the 90s and beyond, this is a perfect car for you. I mean, it's really a wonderful place to be. I'm gonna relax and listen to music, get a coffee, hang out in it, and just cruise. So maybe you'll see this again if we end up deciding to keep it, maybe doing some engine stuff with it. But if not, it'll be gone and I'll be driving a dream car. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.
As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and subscribe below. That's it for the 944 build. Join me next time as I dig into my long-term project.